Welcome to the ultimate trifecta of success with your host, Stephen Pine. Tune into our show where we cover everything related to business, insurance, and fitness. From tips on entrepreneurship to advice on financial planning and health, we've got it all. Whether you're a small business owner, an insurance enthusiast, or a fitness freak, our expert guests and in-depth discussions will provide you with the guidance and inspiration you need. So sit back, relax, and let's get started because the ultimate trifecta of success starts now.
Hi, I'm Stephen Pine, host of the Ultimate Trifecta of Success, where we focus on three things that, if tended to properly, can help lead to success: mind, body, spirit. How those three things work together. I'm a partner here at Patterson & Associates Insurance, celebrating 40 whole years, serving folks just like you. Shoot me a message. Feel free to comment if you want to learn more about that. You probably noticed I'm wearing a t-shirt today. If you know me from 8 to 5 during the day, you probably don't see me much in t-shirts, but today's a special day. T-shirt represents the very first bodybuilding show that I ever did. The Kulco Classic. And today we're fortunate enough to have Mr. Steve Kulco himself joining us on the podcast. Steve has some exciting things coming up here in May. I want to give him an opportunity to share what those are, his motivation behind implementing them, and also want to allow our listeners the privilege of hearing a little of Steve's story. And so without wasting any more time, Steve, how you doing, brother?
Doing great, Steve.
There he is.
You know, it goes great when you love your name.
Yeah,
anytime I meet another Steve, I'm always like, hey, I love your name.
Easy to remember, man. Hey,
no, I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. I tell you what, though, I know I told you I'm not doing your show this year. My body needed a little bit of a break, but I have outgrown this t-shirt, brother. So next year I got to come get me a second t-shirt.
I might just get you another shirt for this year just to well, I know you're going to be out there supporting it. Yeah,
I will be there. I
means
will
a lot,
be there.
Man.
So yeah, and I love outgrowing these t-shirts. That's not a bad thing.
Not too many insurance agents fill out their t-shirts like you do.
No, I don't know too many of them. So, man, I appreciate you being here. I don't want to waste too much time here. So I want to give you the floor here for a little bit, Steve, if you don't mind. Tell us a little bit. We've got listeners of all varieties. And so obviously some of our listeners, they know who you are very well. But we also have a lot that don't know you. They've maybe heard your name just from me because I do talk about you a little bit. And I talk about the show that I did back last May. But they really don't know who you are. So give us a little bit of a background on you, kind of where you came from and how you got to where you are today. And then we'll get into the things we really want to talk about.
Man, well, honored to be on your show, Steve.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know me from the fitness industry, been in
Right.
the bodybuilding world for about 20 years, competing as a pro for close to 10. Actually, no, more than 10. I turned pro in 2011, so 12 years as a pro. Been on the Mr. Olympia stages. Started my career actually as a dual career. I was actually a firefighter paramedic for 10 years, working for the city of Dallas in running parallel with my bodybuilding aspirations and dreams. I loved training. I loved being the biggest, fastest, strongest guy growing up, and that's what kind of inspired me into continuing into more bodybuilding competitively. And as I've had success in that and doing both, I really worked as a firefighter to allow me to pursue bodybuilding to the fullest, because in your early stages it's not really a big monetary thing at first, so I needed some way to supplement the cost of competing. So both careers just taught me so much on life and discipline and overcoming adversity and being so, when you're tired and don't want to do things, it just getting the energy and willpower to drive through. When your body says no, you're like, no, we're going to push through this. So you reset the bar, reset the limits of what you think is your bailing out point. But for me, I turned pro at 25 in bodybuilding and then worked a few more years on the fire department until I really reached that crossroad where I was going to be full-time into bodybuilding. Made a very educated decision. It was not easy when you say, you're going to end a chapter to continue or rewrite a new one that's going to be hopefully greater. And to me, doing that was a wise decision because I was able to be all in. And I think anything you go all in life, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your business, or whether it's a passion of yours, you're going to have success in it. So going all in,
There you go.
for me was when I left the fire department to pursue bodybuilding full time.
Yeah.
Doing that, I've had a lot of success. Like I said, I won 5 big championships. I've won the Arnold Classic. I've won, been on Olympia stage 6 times, which is like the Super Bowl for bodybuilding. And, this has also allowed me to transition into a lot more of the business side of things too, in the entrepreneurial side of the fitness world and bodybuilding. And like you said, you competed in my own show that I put on and promote, the Kulco Classic, which is coming up in May 27th is the Kulco Classic. It's going to be my 8th year. And it's just a way that I've been able to give back to the competitors and put on a show that creates an experience for people that a lot of first-time competitors, and I always tell people, we're going to spoil you because we run a very well-run show. We give away great trophies. We give away tons of prizes. It's a beautiful venue, and those things really stick with people. It's not like you're just going to get a bowling trophy for getting on stage, and we do the the figurine trophies everybody loves. So it's doing those things that I'm big on leaving impact on people, and how is creating experiences or something that is impactful to them. That carries on, and that's what also led me into my new venture, like you said, the Upgraded Human MasterMind, which I'm holding the day before the Kulco Classic. That's going to be my new thing that I believe, which my transition now out of being professional bodybuilder. I can't say I'm done competing, but I'm at the point now where it's like I'm going to be 38 years old. I've been doing this almost 20 years, and my body's felt the 20 years of training, and I have a baby on the way, and it's to a point where I want to be able to, feel good and healthy moving forward. I do feel good and healthy. My body's, not too beat up. Of course, we have aches and pains that anybody that competes or trains hard knows the life of being in continual soreness and pain. But it's good pain. It's pain that creates growth in you. But the mastermind that I'm doing, this is going to lead into ultimately what I'm doing with my leadership and in the coaching side of the world, not just on the fitness, but we're trying to, when you read the title Upgraded Human, that ultimately is helping people upgrade their life. It's becoming the best version of yourself. And what's that mean? It really means, so many people excel in one area of life. And I've done that. I've been very unidimensional with things for a long time, and I realized there's a lot of my life that was just missing, relational, financial, those kind of things. And if we could help upgrade those areas of your life, whether it's you may be doing great in business, but your marriage is not doing so well, or you don't know how to manage your finances, and you're chasing your tail, working your butt off, and or you're doing great in business and your health is declining. Like we're going to work on all areas and I think a lot of people need help in all areas of life, not just one. And that's really what my vision of this is. Man, you said a lot. I'm over here taking notes on some bullet points, and but man, you hit a lot of great things there. And let me just try to add on to some of that stuff. I want to ask you a few questions out of that. Sure.
A few things that you said. You talked about going all in, going back to your bodybuilding career, and when you left the fire station, you left the fire department, and you went all in. I actually wrote a post about that today with bodybuilding and how it changed, I guess how it revitalized my career. I can't say it changed, but it took me back to when I started, because it helped me remember. And that's one of the reasons why I got into bodybuilding, is I wanted something fresh to help me figure out what's my purpose again, right? And the bodybuilding aspect, the finite details of it, completely different style of working out than I've ever done in my life. I got to focus on the small things, right? And the eating, the diet plans. You got to eat the same things, certain amounts every single day. But if you want to put your best product out there, you have to do it. Yes. And how that overlays into the business world, into your marriage, into your spiritual life. It connects so incredibly well that it revives. And I think everyone needs to experience it. They don't have to get on stage, obviously.
No.
But you got to experience something and new things throughout your life, which you've obviously done and are continuing to do, to help recharge your batteries, to help refocus the mind, to help just rejuvenate you as a person and as a man. I think men get sucked into that, and the world is not good at it anymore. They tell us guys that, hey, it's, you just need to sit there, let everybody else do their thing, mind your own business, get old, and then die.
Yeah,
and that's
true.
not living. It's not
No,
living.
it's not. It's not. When
living.
you could, it's almost like calling it unplugging from the matrix. It's something that we've been kind of programmed from, and it's not necessarily our parents' fault, but it's just the way that, what they were taught and how they were going to live and what you were supposed to do based on the principles that they were taught.
Right.
But my thing was like, you know what? I want more than that. What does it mean to have more than that? And, I wanted to have a better marriage than my parents had. I wanted to have a bigger house than my parents had. I wanted to be the first one to own my own business in my family, like not just work for, the 8 to 4 job just to pay my bills. Like I wanted to live a more fruitful life. And what did that mean? And how am I going to do it? And I think the number one thing was investing in myself was the best thing that I could do. And that's in every investment means you think of an investment, you kind of think of money, and money is part of it. Like, okay, I'm going to spend the money you get a gym membership, to get a personal trainer, to attend masterminds, to, learn a new skill, those kind of things. Those are investing in yourself. But it's also time, being able to say, hey, I'm going to start, I want to recreate things. And it's truly, if you change the way you think, you're going to change the way you be. And that's ultimately like your attitude. And then if you change the way you be, you're going to change what you do. And that's your actions.
That's right. Love that. You also mentioned having an impact on people's lives. And that really hit home too, because our culture here, and I actually developed this for our office here at Patterson and Associates, but our culture is impact. We have it on our signatures on all of our emails. We have an impact committee here. And on our emails, it says we want to make an impact today. And we want to make an impact in someone's life every single day, a positive impact. And we actually have, so impact for us stands for integrity, mentorship, professionalism, attitude, community, and teamwork.
I love
and through those things, we believe if we act on all of those things, we will make a positive impact in at least one person's life, hopefully more, every single day. So that really hit home with me for sure. Also, another thing that you mentioned, pain. And with pain comes growth. Talk about, give me just, and I don't want to take too much time because I really want to dig into this mastermind thing that you're doing on the 26th with your guests and the purpose of all of that. But give me a couple examples of some challenges, some pains that you've gone through, whether it's starting a business, deciding to go. Maybe it's right now where maybe you got a year or two left bodybuilding and you're transitioning. I know that's tough. You're having a baby, you got a baby on the way. There's a lot of things you got to decide what you're going to do and where you're going to go. I'm just trying to give you some ideas, but maybe a couple things that have been challenges in your life and how that pain has helped you grow.
Man, it was, I have it right in front of me here. I just got done finishing a book a friend of mine wrote, and he talks about pain and things you go through in your life. It's literally he calls the difference between like high level pain and low level pain.
Okay.
And, low level pain is daily things that you kind of face on the daily that are painful. You go to the gym every day and you're creating resistance in your life, and ultimately the more resistance you put on a muscle, the bigger and stronger it gets. When you think of it like that supernatural correlation with life, resistance is a lot of time pain. But then, you have your high level pain, which is, going through a divorce. It's losing a loved one. It's losing a job. It's being broke and how to come out of that. And a lot of that just starts to come out of those a hard or high level pain is just the way you think. And you hit on that a lot. And I love that about what you're trying to reach with people is the way you think and how important that is. So many people, daily things that you face, you're going to have that negative. I always say the enemy's always trying to attack, and an enemy will try to attack an idle mind. And if you're able to really keep your mind thinking positive, and whether it's affirmations, whether it's the way, it's doing those things on a daily to kind of fight the enemy from planting those seeds of negativity in your life. And pain comes in all different forms. I think people are very resistant to pain. People don't like pain. And, that's one of the things. I don't want to be, sore. They make excuses. But to me, if you're able to embrace pain in life, you're going to have growth in all areas. I've had businesses that were successful and businesses that weren't, and that were painful and lost a lot of money, and that sucks. And I've been broke, just had literally like my clothes, my tools, and my vehicle. And it's like, okay, I'm starting from zero. Where do I go? And I didn't make it an excuse to, say poor me and sulk in it. It's like, okay, let's get a game plan in, and let's start mapping out what we are going to have to do to become what I ultimately want in life, what I want to become, who I want to become. And it's just, there's been a lot of transformation, and I can't say what I thought I was going to be 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 1 year ago. It's continually changed. So I can't say that I know exactly where I want to be in 5 and 10 years. I have an idea of the trajectory I want to be on, but I'm going to start mapping things out in a much shorter time frame, whether it's a 90-day, 60-day, a 6-month, 1 year kind of game plan. And then that way I can make small strategic daily action points to start knocking those goals out. And I think when you set goals, that's a great way to not only kind of reward yourself, like, hey man, I accomplished this, but when you have that sense of accomplishment, there's, hey, I want more. There's that more. I want more of that, because it's such a high that you get. You experienced that competing for your first time, getting on stage. You dieted your butt off. I saw you in the gym, man. My hats off to you. You're one of the hardest working guys I know. You got an amazing physique. You do what you're told, and you see the results of your hard work. And you didn't make excuses. You never gave up. You never, what I saw you were 8-10 weeks out when you're in there posing every day. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do. And there's times where, I've made excuses. I'm busy. I got plenty of time. And then I'm like, oh man, I'm 6 weeks out. I better get on my posing game here. There's all those little things. It's easy to make excuses in life, but when you do the work, you're going to have the results, and you're walking proof of it, Steve.
Well, I appreciate that. I do work hard, and it's when I was prepping for your show, I had a lot of illness I don't even know if you know this, but like the last 5 weeks of my prep. So I got gout really bad, and I had an arthritis flare up for about 2 weeks. All my joints were swollen. I couldn't even get out of bed. And it was about a week before the show where I finally figured out the gout issue and did a uric acid flush, and was able to get it to flush out, and actually could walk. But and I kept working out through that whole thing, man, and it was brutal. I was all braced up, and then all the stress though, and I was depressed because I put all this effort into this. I didn't think I was gonna be able to walk on stage. And so what stress does to the body. You've been doing this for a long time, and there's no room for stress when you're getting on stage and you're that lean and everything's noticeable. And so I didn't look my best, but you know what, that was a challenge, and it was a lot of pain. But man, I grew tremendously out of that. And then the next show I did in December, I looked so much better, and actually did really well. So it's I'm right there with you, man. I am right there with you. And you talked about embracing pain. And I teach a lot, and something that I oftentimes teach about is finding comfort being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you want to grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's, like you said, it's in the gym, and I teach a lot at church and different spiritual type situations. And if you want to grow closer to God, you got to be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
It's just uncomfortable. And finding a comfort in that is definitely a huge step, man. And but anyways, so let's move on. We could talk about that for a long time. Let's move on. We've got about 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes left. I really want to dig into this Upgraded Mastermind, the strategy behind it, some of the guests that you're having,
sure,
and possible ways that our listeners, whether it's this one or ones, different ones that you do in the future, how can they get involved? What can they do? Are you going to air that so people can listen to it at some point? What's What's the thought? You tell us. You tell us.
That's some good questions. So I think a lot of people are asking, like, is what is it, and is it my vision, my baby kind of thing? And yes, so I've had this idea, I've had this thing I wanted to do for so long, and so many people like to sit on ideas, and like you start doubting yourself, and self-doubt's going to hold you back always. And there's times where I'm like, oh, is anybody going to care? Is anybody going to show up? Who, and then I had a list of people I wanted involved in this. And then I'm like, are they even going to, give a crap to show up and,
right.
and help me out and be a part of this? And I tell you, like, how I knew it was anointed, I knew it was the right thing for me, was literally the first 5 people that I text to be a part of this all said yes without any questions. Hey, awesome. I'm going to hold a mastermind in May 26th. Would you be able to what would it take to get you there, and would you be able to speak? And they're like, whatever you need, yes. And there wasn't like, yeah, you got to pay me XYZ. It was like they had my back, and I could attribute that to the alignments that I've had in my life. Everyone that is going to be involved in this mastermind, which is a live mastermind, awesome. I have personal relationship with. It's somebody I can text or call at any time. Yeah. I consider a friend, and these people have. Not only they're friends, but they're amazing human beings that have changed lives. They've changed and helped redirected my life in a lot of ways. Awesome. If I go down the list, like you have it in front of you. So I started watching Dr. O'Connor, known as the Anabolic Doc, and I started watching his stuff, and his stuff is amazing. He educates so like clear on what his message is, as far as helping people with hormone replacement therapy, men and women, helping men understand like side effects of things, helping people understand health in the higher level fitness game that I believe everybody should really start trying to put focus on. Coming from an authority point with him being so, he's a medical doctor that treats so many people and has been in the game for 30, 40 years. Like these are the kind of people I want pouring into the guests of this event. And so he's going to be involved. Gina Rowe, who's my trainer, has been my trainer for about 6 years, professional bodybuilder, been involved in the health and fitness world. So this is, let me kind of backtrack real quick. Ultimately, like my 4 pillars I'm going to be teaching on is faith, family, fitness, and finance. And then the 5th one I like to talk about a little bit is fun. So we got like a 5th F in there. Got to have fun and enjoy life.
Sure.
But going on, so this is like kind of the fitness aspect of things with the Anabolic Doc, with Gina, myself, my wife. We're going to do a little panel where we're going to kind of just talk about some lifestyle stuff and how we like to make some balance with not having excuses and making time for fitness and making what's the importance of that. We're going to be touching on that kind of stuff. Justin Nelson, who his company is actually with a title sponsor of the event, Sphere Rocket, and he runs a virtual assistant company. And after I heard, like, I had no idea what virtual assistance was, and in running and managing a business before, like, I realized such a value in this because, like, what they do is they go overseas, they hire virtual assistants, they train them, and then they could mold somebody to whatever your needs are as a company. And if you're a starting up company and you're kind of growing really fast, but you can't afford to hire several, $75,000, $100,000 employees and need some help with things, the virtual assistant is like your answer. And he's got an amazing presentation talking about business and how you can grow exponentially utilizing virtual assistants. Steve Weatherford, I don't know if anybody's ever heard. I mean, a lot of these people you may have seen or heard of. Steve Weatherford is a great friend of mine. And he's a Super Bowl winner, but his story about his faith and how he's tied everything together, giving God all the glory and the tribe he's built based on like his experience and his testimony is incredible. I think anybody that hears his story is going to be like inspired, going to be crying, going to be like, it's so powerful, his message. Another good friend of mine, Tommy Vex, amazing celebrity. He's been a platinum recording artist, sober coach for celebrities, like written books. This guy's story is incredible. I mean, literally, I was in Vegas with him 2 weeks ago. He just moved there, doing some podcast PR stuff for the events, and got to have dinner with him a couple nights and spend, awesome. A lot of time with him. And And just the more you spend time with people and you get to know more on an intimate level, like you're just like, man, your heart as a human is incredible.
Yeah.
And actually I was in Vegas with my other friend, Tony, who's on here with the backwards hat. Tony is an amazing finance expert, going to be teaching on, managing money, making money, how not to lose money. So many people got these get rich quick investment stuff. And he runs an investment club that is I think an amazing tool for people that have some money that want to put money into start working for itself. And that's somewhere I feel like I even need help with unversed how to start investing smarter. And so we're going to be teaching on that. Jessie Lee, and probably the most incredible internet marketer in the world. She's got an amazing tribe. If you've never heard her speak, it's incredible how smart and talented she is in areas of marketing and business. So her like hashtag is Boss Lee, and literally she's a freaking boss. And then one of the most, he's actually been a personal coach of mine, Sean Whalen. Lions Not Sheep. If you've never seen his stuff, he's a incredible figure in today's world, helping men, really embrace some pain. He talks about that a lot, and then really his story is of success, his business, how he's managed things, and how to his thing. He really teaches a lot on mindset too, and how to, I think so many people are stuck in a certain way they're thinking or doubting themselves, or like, he's like, if you don't like the way your book's being written, turn the page and you got a fresh page to start rewriting it. So there's just some, I think if my thing, if you could take some nuggets from each one of these speakers that are going to be there pouring into you part of this event, like it's going to be one of those things, like to pay the price to be in that room is going to be one of the best investments you can make on yourself. And it's, and people are like, wow, the tickets are, $300 or $800 for VIP. Well, I'm like, well, instead of going out to dinner one night, which you can't go out to dinner now for $200 or $300 everywhere.
Right.
Instead of going to dinner one night, come out, buy a ticket, and that's going to be the best $300 or $800 you're going to spend because of the value of the speakers. Like these speakers, their one-on-one coaching stuff is very, it's high dollar stuff. They charge, very high 5 to 6 figures to speak at a lot of events. Some of these people,
right.
And to be able to get in this audience for the price point, it's I tell you, like, it's going to be the best money you could possibly spend.
Love that.
Yeah,
love that. Well, and you won't say this, but I'll say it for you. The fact that every one of them, at the blink of an eye, was willing to come and help you with this also speaks volumes to you, Steve, and how good of a guy you are, because they obviously respect you, and they want to help you. They want to be around you. And I know you said you were friends with all of them, but that just speaks volumes about who you are as a person too. So not only those speakers, but also Steve as well. I mean, well worth the $300 to $800. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. We have several packages. Like the general mission will get you there, and you get some perks of some little things that we're going to be giving each. Like my vision was, I want somebody to walk away with like a tangible, tactical, line item from this. And what I'm going to give each person that comes in is like a booklet, the Upgraded Human booklet, which is going to have kind of a highlight point of each speaker, what they're going to be talking about, and kind of their vision, their mission, and really the tools they use to implement in their life and their business. So they're going to be walking away with that. The VIP guests, if you get a VIP ticket, you're going to be able to be at the lunch. I'm providing lunch for all the VIP guests in a private dining room with all the speakers. So you're going to be able to kind of have some time to speak with them, get a picture with them, more one-on-one time with them. There's another package we're offering for a private dinner, limited of like 20 people, with the speakers and some of the staff involved of this project, that we're going to be at the Cowboy Club. So an exclusive kind of intimate with the speakers event. So it's going to be like, my thing is creating an experience for people. And I think when you create an experience for people, it's going to be so impactful. Like that's one of the ways that I truly think, you may not remember what was said. It's about everybody's word, what every word was said, but you're going to be able to be like, man, I remember when I was there, and that was one of the best things that I've ever did or spent time in. Yeah,
that's great. That's fantastic. And you're going to be busy that weekend, because the very next day is your show.
Yeah.
It's so you'll be ready for a good rest after that for sure.
Yeah, I'll be ready for a vacation. It's like,
yeah.
it's like, 5-6 months of work poured into like 2 days. And it's,
2 days. Yes.
It's kind of like in a way, it's like competing as well, but at the same time,
Right.
it's there's a lot more moving pieces involved in this, and I love it because you get to see what your vision was that you've ultimately created, and then you get to see it like the end product. It's kind of like building a car. You spend all this time and money.
Right.
It may take 2 years, and somebody like, it took 2 years to build it. Like, but you're like, yeah, but it's a fruit of my labor. Like you get to see how successful, really like you said, the fruit of what you've put your time, talents, and energy into. That's
exactly right. There's some clips from the Kulco. I see you didn't put me up there, Lyndon, behind the scenes. That's all right.
I didn't have the control of the edit of this.
I'm kidding. That's perfectly fine. Then go to my Instagram and see plenty of that.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Well, hey man, we're at about time. I really appreciate you. I'd encourage all of the listeners, get a ticket. I mean, buy a ticket, and do it for yourself. Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
That's rule number one, in my opinion, is always pay yourself first. Invest in yourself, and definitely you'll receive the fruits from that particular night. Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. So, Steve-O, man, I really appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the show, and I certainly look forward to seeing you at the gym again. And we'll do another podcast sometime, but we'll do it while we're working out. How about that? We'll make a little workout podcast.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Nah, you'd make me look bad. I'm not gonna do that. So. To all the viewers, all the listeners, appreciate you guys. Steve, thanks again, man. And we'll definitely see you soon.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, bud. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in and watching our show. If you would like to see our next show, or more shows like this one, just click the QR code and go to show schedules, or just follow and subscribe to our channels to get updates and notifications of this show, and many others like it.